Welcome back to day 37 of the Dry Fire Journal. And it is Thursday night, a little after 11 p.m. I have spent somewhere around 50 out of the last 72 hours at the state fair with my family and my daughter showing her horse, which has been fantastic. But I'm like at the edge of exhaustion, and I leave first thing in the morning for a REDHAWK training trip. So tonight, I'm not going to be doing a bunch of drawing or working on the small dots that you've seen me work on. I want to go back to something really basic and explain something that actually my dear friend Rob Longenecker asked about. Rob, by the way, is with Tucker Gun Leather in Houston, Texas. And if you want the finest leather gun products in the Milky Way galaxy, go to Tucker Gun Leather. If you've taken a concealed carry class from me, you've heard me talk about their HF1 holster as a wonderful outside the waistband leather holster for those that want that for duty or for work. Also, if you like leather for your gun belt, I believe Tucker's making the finest leather gun belt there is. And I think your great-grandchildren will fight over it. It's that good. Anyway, enough of a free plug for Tucker Gun Leather, but they're fantastic. And if you haven't looked at their stuff, you're wrong. Anyway, tonight I want to answer a question Rob asked. He asked a question as a part of a follow-up to a recent video. He said, "Hey Samuel, you said your thumb is on the slide. Don't you mean frame?" Yeah, I meant on the slide, and I meant with pressure. One of the great myths about handgun shooting is that we can somehow disrupt or cause a malfunction in our slide with our thumb if our thumb is on it. A couple of things to think about. Number one, your slide on a 9mm, I'm just using a 9mm for example, your 9mm slide, just to recoil and return under pressure. By the way, clear gun. But for your 9mm to recoil and return in live fire takes roughly 0.06 seconds. It is moving the impulse of the rearward motion of your slide in live fire is because of the impulse of the gaseous reaction in the chamber as the bullet is sent down range and the case is ejected. That's exerting somewhere around 30,000 psi on the slide of your gun. So, because it happens in 0.06 seconds and because it's 30-something thousand psi, no, your thumb on the slide is not going to disrupt, disengage, or otherwise cause your gun to malfunction. However, I have seen this happen on a 1911, and that was an indicator that 1911 needed a new return spring. So, a basic thing, if you've been through a live fire class with me, you understand that what I teach is my left thumb rotates forward onto the frame of the gun. And I'm using left hand because I'm right-handed. So let me fix that. My support hand runs forward on the slide with pressure because my thumb pressure increases my pinky's ability to provide crush grip. And if my thumb rotates forward, look where it is on the slide. It's almost curled over, but it is up high. And it brings my two strongest fingers, my two pinkies, on top of each other at the most important part of the firearm for recoil mitigation. Because our guns don't recoil like this, they recoil like this. And so if I'm applying pinky pressure with my shooting hand and putting two pinkies on top of themselves, I'm getting my double pinky power, and my thumb is doing its job. And what this allows And I know this is a recover of fundamentals for a lot of you if you've been through my courses, but what this allows is as I fire that shot, the gun is going to cycle and return faster to my original point of aim because of the grip that I have on my gun. And you can talk to anybody that's been to our classes. You can ask Justin or Darren or Mason, the instruction team. We've seen hundreds upon hundreds of people touch handguns for the very first time and within minutes be able to mitigate the recoil significantly on a 9mm because their thumb is forward with pressure and because their pinkies are doing their important job at the most important part of the handgun for recoil mitigation. So put all this together, and I want to end with this question. I know I've been talking for almost 6 minutes, but I want to put all this together with a really important question. In your quest for dry fire, whether you are working on accuracy, trigger manipulation, speed out of the holster, transitions from left to right, or whatever it is you're working on, are you ensuring that every time you press the trigger that you have a master grip on the gun? Am I suffocating the gun all the way around the grip, trying to make sure that there are no areas where I do not have maximum skin to gun contact? And am I able, even at the speeds I'm working at or the accuracy I'm working at, am I able to present the firearm knowing that if this were a live gun and I pressed the trigger, that the front sight or the dot would rise and settle right back to where it was? This doesn't always mean that I need the firearm to run flat. However, if I do grip my firearm well, it will, in fact, run flat. Here's a picture of me running Alice, my HK Mark 23, running 40 by God 5. And you can see the slide is at full extension because the round is tumbling out of the spent casing is tumbling out of the ejection port. This is under live fire, and look at how flat this gun is running. This can be done. However, I believe, thanks to Riley Bowman who taught me this, I believe that more important than the gun running dead flat is the front sight returning right back to where it belongs. More than the gun running flat is the front sight returning right to where it belongs. For some people and some handguns in some situations, it depends. It might mean that you need to allow the gun to recoil a little bit so that your grip can return the sight right to where it goes. For some guns and some hands and some situations, it may mean that you run the gun as flat as can be so it comes right back to where it should go. So, a lot of thought tonight, a lot of conversation tonight. I hope it's been important, and I hope it has helped you to consider, am I practicing fundamentals of excellent grip as I'm going through whatever it is I'm working through in my dry fire? Have a great time thinking this through, and I will see you tomorrow.